So, first thing that I really didn't know about was apparently Kindle has the whole fan fiction thing going on.
Yeah, Kindle for a while now has been letting people write officially licensed fan fiction, and it's turned the actual fanfic boards crazy because heaven forbid you make money with it or do something really insane like write a Twilight fanfic, change all the names and sell for $1 gazillion and call it 50 Shades of Grey.
Well, they just announced that they got Veronica Mars, G.I. Joe, Valiant Comics, they're all going over there.
For officially licensed Kindle fan
fiction. I'm not quite sure.
I've got mixed feelings about this.
You know, it's a little weird to me that you're going to officially license fan fiction because isn't fan fiction just supposed to be whatever goes? So how do you license something like that?
Well, in my head, fan fiction is almost entirely equated with porn.
Sadly enough, yes, because the first thing I was thinking,
they're going to
My Little
screen
Pony.
it, so you're going to take. So they're going to take all the porn out of it because I actually took a look at some of these licenses. It has to be like very serious fan fiction for people that wish their shows would continue and whatnot. There's not that much of that in the fanfic world.
Well, yeah, no, it's all a little crazy stuff, and I just don't quite understand, again, why do you want to officially license it?
Because they can make money off of it. Because they can make money off. I mean, look at it. The fan fictionosphere, I'm not entirely sure what to call it, but the amount of fan fiction out there is vast. Clearly, there's a lot of readers as well as a lot of writers. Most of it, I hate to say ladies, and you know if you're writing it, you're ladies. Most of it's crap.
Wow.
But it's true.
Really?
Come on. Oh yeah. And that's where I feel like Amazon doesn't really get it. Like, they don't really understand the demographic of who's reading it. G.I. Joe, really? That's what, really?
That's what the comic books are for. Seriously, I didn't even know there was fan fiction out there for G.I. Joe.
I'm sure it's all gay porn.
Well, there's a bunch of soldiers, and there's a sailor called Shipwreck.
I'm just saying. So if they're taking the porn element out of it, I don't understand. But Amazon's also been really harsh against the erotica section lately, which used to be making a lot of people a lot of money. And then after my adorable favorite, the dinosaur porn people made national news.
No, you did not bring that up.
After the dinosaur porn people made national news, Amazon suddenly went, oh my goodness, heavens to Betsy, I can't believe it, there's pornography on our site, and started really cracking down on that, which is unfortunate. I mean, heaven forbid if people have to go get unlicensed porn.
All right, so next up, I found this one just really, really interesting. So Iceland apparently wants to build a road through a forest, and they're saying, you can't do that. People are because elves live there.
They're not kidding. 50% of people in Iceland actually believe in elves, and these people actually have a higher overall high school and college graduation rate than the U.S. Believe in elves and believe that we cannot actually interfere with their environment. They also have a ton of environmentalists. So the environmentalists and elf believers come together and say, no roads for you. We'd rather humans die than interrupt our elf passages.
Couldn't they just go in the forest to see if the elves were there? And the
it's
elves,
Iceland. There's not a forest. It's just ice as far as you can see.
Elves also know magic.
Well, of course they do.
So they could just magic away so no one wants to do it. They would have just magicked away, hey, this isn't a good idea to build this road.
They did that. That's what happened to the Icelanders' minds to make them decide. They magicked their brains so they would decide not to build a road there.
But the idea, okay, we get you got to save the watered newt or this little bitty owl that fits in the palm of your hand. They save elves over there.
I can't decide if this is the most awesome thing ever or just what?
I want to say this classifies as one of the most awesome things ever because hello,
save the elves.
There are people boycotting for elves that they don't even know exist in the woods.
No, they believe that they exist.
But
that is the point. The point is they believe in the elves.
Okay, I understand that just because you haven't seen doesn't mean you can't believe. But at the same token, it's elves in the woods in today's day and age. I don't think so, you know?
Welcome to Iceland.
All right, so next, number 3 is Disney announced they're making a live-action Chippendale Rescue Rangers movie.
I'm done. I'm done here.
For the life of me,
why?
I cannot figure out why of all their properties. Let's do Chippendale Rescue Rangers because that's
as a live action.
Yes, it's gonna be one of those CG live-action hybrids. Where I hope to God they don't make actual, chipmunks talk, but...
They will. Of course they will.
If they did something more like Alvin the Chipmunks, I think that's what they're going to do. However, of all your properties, Disney, that's the one you choose?
I think the thing is they saw that Marvel's had so much success just scraping the bottom of the barrel. Like, we could do that too, can't we?
Yeah, but see, Marvel has a following on the bottom of the barrel.
It's true.
They really do. They do. So I'm like, why couldn't you have made a live-action DuckTales movie? I would have seen that.
Have you seen the scientifically accurate DuckTales?
Yes, I have. We're not bringing that up. Or even better yet, Go back to Gargoyles. Seriously, if you
Okay,
want to talk
Gargoyles was
about
delightful.
a
I'll give
live
you that.
action movie from something you
Oh,
used to do.
but not as live action. No, Gargoyles. No, that would not work.
Yes, it would. I have a feeling. Why wouldn't it work?
The costumes would really not work well. I don't think.
They worked for Hellboy. Why wouldn't they work here?
Hellboy wasn't quite as complicated a costume as you would need for the Gargoyles.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude has a giant forehead. They just put a couple
All right.
things on there.
They're
and slipped
not
it back.
like making fully working thing. They're gonna do CG characters. Wings would not be real. They may have the actual outfits, but
So
they could do
what
it.
you're really saying
They
is you would
could
like
do
to go back to the Kindle porn version of it, and it would just be in the purity of your mind.
Oh, what? Why did you even equate that to porn? Really?
Well, because you just want to make up your own fan fiction about
Welcome
Gargoyles.
to Fanservice. Today we're talking about porn and derpy sharks, apparently, who somehow will end up in a porn later.
What
I
is
have
our
no doubt.
next one?
All right,
Before the
next
Derpy Shark
up.
porn.
NBC has greenlit Emerald City, a series based on the Wonderful Wizard of Oz.
This is the time. This is the time for this because
I don't know.
they're gonna go dark. They're gonna go. So many people have been trying to do a dark Wizard of Oz for a while, and most of the time it doesn't come off well because they're just trying to do the same familiar story. But he has, what is it, like 14 books?
A lot of books, yes.
Somewhere more than 10. I apologize for all the fans out there that I don't know the exact number off the top of my head. And the fantastic thing about him is they cover a ton of territory, and it's not all happy territory. If you're ever gonna do, well, we're so obsessed with dystopias right now, a dark Wizard of Oz, this is the time, and the fact that they're licensing more books rather than just that one, I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Well, my problem is everyone doesn't know the dark side of Oz. They only know the happy, let's go sing on a yellow brick road Oz. They don't know everything else. So
That's
they're not
true,
gonna
but
latch to this series.
I don't know about that.
I have a feeling they're gonna be
still-
like, no, it's not gonna happen.
He still has the author still has a surprisingly large fandom following, and people watched a lot of the really craptastic Sci-Fi Channel versions of The Wizard of Oz where they were trying to darken up that one story.
It wasn't really dark that much though.
I said trying to darken, not successfully.
But
It's sci-fi. The
do-
only thing they've ever done well is Dune and Battlestar Galactica.
Do we know they're gonna go dark? I mean,
What else are they going to do with that material?
well, because I hope they don't go the route of like Grimm, because I think Grimm is just okay. But if they went like the Once Upon a Time route, where they kind of told it but retold it and made it really interesting.
Have you read any of these books? Oh, I forgot he's a functional illiterate. So anyway, our fifth item.
All right, our last item I'll talk about is the rumors are swirling about this new Fantastic Four movie, which is already being derailed, that they may cast a woman to be Doctor Doom. Now, this to me is fundamentally just, it can't happen. It just can't happen. There
Okay,
are some
why do you
things.
say it can't happen?
All right. You look at the history of things. There are some things you could change. Like, I don't really have a problem with them making Johnny Storm be Michael B. Jordan as long as Sue Storm is a black woman as well. But they're talking about casting like a white lady or something.
They'll do an adopted family thing.
I
I'm
don't
fine with
understand.
that.
Okay, there's some things you just can't change. Like Doctor Doom is so iconic. You can't just say you're a woman just because.
I actually agree with you there. I think that the way that he interacts with Reed Richards would change a lot. Like, because they're going to add, if they cast Doom as a woman, then suddenly there's going to have to be this like crazy sexual tension between Doom and Reed Richards, and that would be weird. And on top of that, I hate every single bit of concept art I've seen for this because a lot of it has been basically just putting the Doom head and cape onto some woman in random armor that has like 3 square inches of body covered. And that to me doesn't scream Doctor Doom. If they would do something a la Master Chief, where you can't really tell the gender, you just have like this vast, giant caped ruler,
Then
and it
wouldn't be a
turns
woman.
out to be female.
No, well, okay, it worked for Metroid.
Yeah.
All right, but that was designed to be that way. Doom is not designed to be this way. I'm sorry.
No.
Doom is designed to be a maniacal leader of another country that I don't think would elect a female to lead him. Honestly.
Actually, almost all of the female heads of state in the world have been from Muslim countries.
At Leverdia.
Well, no, that's not a country that I could see doing it. When we're going about fictional countries as opposed to like some really progressive Muslim nations.
So it goes back to the fundamental things of there's some things you just can't change because continuity history, for one thing, well, not so much continuity, but history-wise. The history behind the characters is a big reason why they work, and you can't just randomly say, hey, we're going to make you a female just because.
I kind of feel like they know that they did wrong with the first attempt at a Fantastic Four movie, but they
Wasn't
don't
terrible.
really understand why. And so now they're just throwing other horrible things at it, hoping like, I don't know, if we just change enough things from the canon, it'll be great. And they're wrong.
Couldn't be any worse than the original Fantastic Four movie where they all lived in a house together. That one by Roger Corman, I've seen it. You can only buy bootlegs at a toy show. It is so bad, so bad. But the original movies weren't that bad.
Thank goodness we are living in a golden age of science fiction where there's a tiny, tiny chance this movie might be watchable.
A tiny, tiny chance. That's it. That's all you're gonna give it is a tiny, tiny chance.
With the Fantastic Four one, yeah.
Well,
I'm all here for Guardians of the Galaxy, but
which
the Fantastic
should
Four
be awesome.
movie,
But what do you think did not work in the Fantastic Four movie to begin
do
with?
we really want to go off?
Make it in like 1 minute or less.
You know, I don't really remember that well because it didn't make that big of an impact
Jessica
on me.
Alba did not need to be in that movie.
The acting was very stale. The characters they didn't really seem to gel. A lot of it was just bad acting and your really basic bad writing.
Well, they did do the thing correctly. I will give them that much.
It was a non-event. It was not a movie that excited anyone, and let's not do that again.
Well,
You can do better, Marvel.
I have a feeling that this one's going to derail, and they want to start tying this into the X-Men universe. I don't see it happening. I just don't see it happening.
Because X-Men and magic work so well.
Yeah.
Scarlet Witch.
All right, so that has been this week's Geek Week News.